Push-ups are the most popular exercise of all time. But are you doing them correctly? Hey everyone, I'm Daniel Vadnal, a physiotherapist. I've been doing push-ups since I was a wee little lad, and I've made every mistake you can think of so that you don't have to. Today, I'm sharing my 10 best tips to improve your push-ups instantly. Push-ups might look simple, but mastering your form is important for pain-free training and better results. When doing wide grip push-ups with flared elbows, this is going to bias more of the chest because the arms are out into this position, which lines up with the pec fibers and the overall motion of this muscle. For those of you that get shoulder pain with this one, don't stress, I'll show you a variation a little bit later on that'll help you. When doing push-ups with a closer grip and tucked elbow position, this is going to hit more of your triceps because we're getting more shoulder extension, which is the job of your tris. If you're looking for a balanced push-up, put your hands shoulder width apart and then flare your elbows out around 30 to 45 degrees. This gives you the best of both worlds, a balance of chest as well as triceps. This feels the most comfortable and strong for most people. Next up, we have scapular movement. This is what makes push-ups superior to bench press. For correct push-ups, you want to retract on the way down and then protract as you're pushing back up. Think about pinching your shoulder blades together and then spreading them apart. By engaging your back muscles on the negative, your shoulder blades are in a more stable position to produce force. The unique benefit of doing that protraction in a push-up is it's improving your shoulder stabilizers, particularly that serratus anterior that wraps around the rib cage. This muscle group and this function of your shoulder is severely underdeveloped in the average person. By comparison to a bench press, you're on the bench, you're fixed, your scapula is supported by the stability of the bench, so your body doesn't have to do the same level of work. So your shoulders won't be as robust and well-rounded if you only do bench press. That's where the value of push-ups comes in. Here's everything you need to know about perfect push-up posture. You want to start in a plank position with your arms straight. Next, squeeze your legs, glutes, and abs, keeping this integrated position throughout. This full body tension prevents energy leaks through your kinetic chain so that your push-up muscles can do their thing. Otherwise, keep your push-up form simple. Lower down until your chest touches the ground, or deeper if you're using a deficit. Lock out with straight arms and repeat for reps. Floor push-ups can be tough on your wrists, especially if you're lacking mobility or skipping your warm-ups. Here's a few wrist-friendly solutions. The neutral grip is a lifesaver because it puts your wrist in an anatomically stacked position. Straight, absolutely awesome. It reduces the discomfort and stress which can happen when you're forcing your wrist into extension. Comfort-wise, the neutral grip is like shaking someone's hand. It feels comfortable and strong on your tendons. No equipment, no excuses, mate. Fist push-ups are awesome because you can get those neutral grip benefits and lean forward comfortably in your push-ups, getting that vertical forearm alignment. You'll notice that I'm using a hard floor, and this is best for proprioception as well as safety in your push-ups. Plus, you'll also develop some extra man points for getting some calluses on your knuckles. Now, it may be tempting to do your knuckle push-ups on a soft surface, but it's not a smart idea because this absorbs force. You can't produce as much tension and it limits your pressing strength. This is the equivalent of doing Bosu ball squats. We're not about that. We're not trying to do Bosu ball push-ups, so keep it on the floor. Fellas, I used to think half rep push-ups were an absolute joke, but they're surprisingly effective when used the right way. For example, you keep doing your full range of motion push-ups until you reach technical failure. You can't lock out. Fatigue has kicked in. Then you finish your set with half reps until failure. This way you get the best of both worlds, building strength through your full ROM and then taking your muscles to actual failure to build up your chest, triceps, and shoulders. Scenario 2, you're a bodybuilder. All you care about is building the biggest pecs possible. Then in this case, it makes sense to just do half reps until you can't do any more because you're actually genuinely challenging your muscles to fatigue. Constant time under tension, huge mechanical overload going through this area, but that only applies if all you care about is growth. What I've learned about training is it's best to not be dogmatic. It's not just full range of motion or just half reps. If you want to be well-rounded, integrating both into your training is a really smart idea if you have bodybuilding goals as well. You've probably seen 100 push-ups a day for 30-day challenges across social media. Please don't waste your time. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. If you're doing the same volume of push-ups, this is going to get comfortable and it's not going to change you. Doing push-ups daily without a rest day is wild. By just spamming the same movement over and over again, you're more likely to run into overuse pain and injuries. Besides, strength and muscle gain happens on rest days. Your workouts are when you stimulate. You rest is when you grow. I guess that's not the goal of 100 push-ups a day. Besides, what about burnout and sustainability? Sure, you can work out for 30 days in a row if you get really motivated and grit your teeth, but what can you do long term? Rest days help you play the long game. The next problem is a lack of individualization. A beginner who can only do 10 push-ups has to do 10 sets. And this is essentially German volume training, and it's overkill in its difficulty. For someone who's more advanced, who can pump out 30 push-ups easily, it's going to be not that much of a challenge. Training needs to be catered to your level and modified long-term. Just sticking with some arbitrary 100 reps for the sake of it won't do you good. When you do 100 push-ups a day, every day, it just makes you better at doing more push-ups. It's endurance training. It's not going to meaningfully improve your upper body size or strength. Progressive overload applies to push-ups as well, specifically intensity if you want to get bigger and stronger. This is where push-up variations come in to change your body. Adding weight to the push-up is my favorite form of progression because it's reliable. You can't go wrong with putting a weight plate on your back for push-ups. It's quick, easy. You can do your training by yourself with this setup. And the benefit is it forces strict technique. You have to slow down your negatives and keep your push-up posture in check. Otherwise, grab a backpack because school is in session, chuck some weight in there, go and do your push-ups until your heart is content as fast as you want. The benefit here is the weight stays in place, so you're set for your weighted push-ups. Deficit push-ups are something that you should be doing ASAP. With our deficit push-ups, why are we putting our hands and feet at the same elevation? This is to replicate the movement and muscles that we're using in a floor push-up, just working our upper body at an increased range of motion. The benefits of increased range of motion is we're getting a greater stretch through our upper body, which is awesome for hypertrophy and bodybuilding. Using an increased ROM is also greater for strength gain because you're building up more movement mastery over horizontal pressing. And lastly, this increased ROM raises the difficulty because deficit push-ups, they're on a continuum from a slight deficit all the way to a really big deficit. And this depends on your level of strength as well as your mobility. Don't be surprised if you can't do as many reps on your deficit push-ups compared to the floor. These are no joke. This is reverse ego training. It's the opposite of what the average person does at the gym. They're trying to make their push-ups as easy as possible. With our deficit, we're chasing the challenge because that's what's actually going to make us improve. The deficit plus the dip belt for your push-ups is a match made in heaven. The luxury here is you can do weighted push-ups, but now your scapula is free to move. So you can get all of those benefits that we discussed earlier. Your dip belt push-ups are a great substitute for the bench press. Now, this humble calisthenics bodyweight exercise, the push-up, is going to remain challenging for life. You can use a rep range that suits your goals so you can build both muscle and strength forever. Did you know that doing your push-ups at a different angle changes which part of your chest is worked? The decline push-up works your upper chest. Just look at our torso angle, it's sloping downwards. This shifts more of the tension to your upper chest, particularly the clavicular fibers of the pecs. The steeper your decline, the more load is going to go through your upper chest as well as your shoulders. Conversely, the incline push-up works your lower chest. Based on our torso angle, it emphasizes more of those lower pecs. So if your goal is to get those Terry Crews big boobies, this one's what you do. It's just the opposite of bench press. An incline bench is like a decline push-up. A decline bench is like an incline push-up. Lastly, the horizontal push-up works the entire chest, the upper, middle, and lower in a balanced way because the torso is horizontal. It's important to keep your body posture in mind for two reasons. The more you go towards a decline for your push-ups, the heavier they're going to feel because you're pushing more body weight. When you change your torso angle, it also changes which part of the chest is worked most. So keep this in mind when you're choosing your level of elevation. Supersetting rows with push-ups is my best kept secret. Here's why. It improves the mind-muscle connection. When you do rows and push-ups, it's called an agonist-antagonist superset. Opposite muscle groups are being trained, a pull and a push. This allows you to take advantage of what's called reciprocal inhibition, using one muscle group to help the opposite side work more freely. When doing rows, it tells the opposite muscles, your chest and triceps, just to chill out for a moment. This short break allows your pushing muscles to activate in your upcoming set to their full potential. This means when you go straight into push-ups after rows, your chest and triceps might be contracting more smoothly and powerfully. Your push-ups are going to just feel a little bit better, and you might even have higher performance too. Supersetting rows and push-ups improves your joint stability. You're getting better joint centration so that your arm as well as your shoulder are working more harmoniously. This allows your prime mover muscles, your chest and your triceps, to fire more efficiently and effectively. Rows can restore blood flow to your pushing muscles and vice versa between sets, improving your work capacity. Given that you rest enough between exercises, you might find that your push-ups are actually better off when training both pull and push compared to just push-ups alone. At the very least, just a set of row activations before your push-ups is going to give you most of the benefits of doing rows than push-ups. Now, this isn't going to make or break your workouts, but just a small improvement in your training can really add up over time. If you can't feel your chest working in push-ups no matter what you do, gymnastics rings are the solution, my friend. With rings, you're getting a converging motion of your hands. As you come out and then you come in, you're essentially doing like a dumbbell fly, but with a push-up. This inner range contraction here is absolutely going to pump your pecs as well. That lockout with straight arms, it's going to build up that stability in your shoulders. So not only are you going to grow your pecs, you're also going to have robust, strong shoulders too. Before we spoke about a wide grip push-up being perfect for targeting the pecs, but with rings, you've got this freedom of movement so your body can find its pain-free pressing path, whereby you can stimulate the chest, you can stretch it, and it won't beat up your joints and tendons by comparison to the floor. To increase the difficulty of your ring push-ups, you can set the straps wider apart to enhance that contraction. You can also train with longer straps with the rings closer to the ground for that added instability. And of course, you can work at a decline to push up against more of your body weight. I invite you guys to try the ring archer push-up. This unilateral bodyweight exercise is absolutely awesome. It's the equivalent of doing a Bulgarian split squat at the gym in terms of the overall benefits. It's a unilateral movement. So if you're someone that has left to right weakness or size asymmetry, doing a one-arm dominant movement is going to help to reduce that difference. With these, the intensity is much higher because you're essentially doubling the amount of work going through one side. So if you're doing flat archer push-ups, you're effectively pushing around 70% of your body weight on one arm, depending on how much you assist with the other side. The cool thing here is even that straight arm is getting benefits too. You're building up that straight arm scapular strength, which is going to have good transfer to moves like front levers and planches when you do them later. I love these because of the intensity. It is so much harder compared to a floor push-up because the rings are moving around everywhere. You're working at a deficit as well. And look, you're building up specific strength. One arm training will build you up to doing one arm push-ups someday. Think you've outgrown push-ups? Think again. Here's how I keep the push-up effective as someone that's been doing the exercise for nearly 20 years. I put push-ups at the end of my workout as a finisher. For example, I'll start with handstand push-ups, followed by dips, and then finish with push-ups. If I'm doing a weightlifting workout, it might be a bench press, an overhead press, and then finishing with push-ups. This is because at the end of a workout, you're fatigued. You've done those big compound exercises. Your prime movers in pushing are fatigued. So you're going to get a huge stimulus out of just a bodyweight push-up. By the end of a workout, I'm fried. I can't even do 30 bodyweight push-ups. So I get the same effect as a beginner with the push-up. So the moral of the story is, don't throw away the push-up. It has so much to offer you when used correctly. All right, legends, if you want to learn more about push-ups and how to put them into your program to get the best results, check out FitnessFAQs.com for our calisthenics programs. Otherwise, check out 10 best tips for better dips right here on YouTube. Peace.